Dandava Pranams, good morning. We are going to continue the reading of Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. We are in Antya-līlā, chapter 3, the Glories of Haridāsa Ṭhākura. Are you ready, Devananda Prabhu? Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Śrīla Krishna Das Kaviraj Swami Prabhu ki jai, Śrīla S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. And we were in chapter, in text 180, but we are going to recap a little bit. So Śrīla Haridāsa Ṭhākura was invited to an assembly, the assembly of the Mahumadaras, Hiranya and Govardhan. And he was taken there by Balavaram Acharya, who was the priest of Hiranya and Govardhan. And in that assembly, there were many learned scholars, brahmanas and respectable gentlemen. The two brothers, Hiranya and Govardhan, were also greatly learned. And everyone there began to speak of Haridāsa Ṭhākura's great qualities, as if they have 5 mouths. Hearing this, both brothers were extremely happy. And it was mentioned in the assembly that Haridāsa Ṭhākura chanted the holy name of Krishna 300,000 times a day. Thus all the learned scholars began to discuss the glories of the holy name. Some of them said, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is freed from the reactions of all sinful life. Others said, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, a living being is liberated from material bondage. But Śrīla Haridāsa Ṭhākura protested. These two benedictions are not the true result of chanting the holy name. By actually chanting the holy name without offenses, one awakens his ecstatic love for the lotus feet of Krishna. And then he continues, Śrīla Haridāsa Ṭhākura continues. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated and chants, just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. And then here is where we left off yesterday. So we continue. Anusangika phala namera mukti papa nasa tahara dristanta jaiche sujera prakasha. Liberation and extinction of the reactions of sinful lives are two concomitants, byproducts of chanting the holy name of the Lord. An example is found in the glimpse of morning sunlight. And there is a very long verse there. As the rising sun immediately dissipates all the world's darkness, which is deep like an ocean, so the holy name of the Lord, if chanted once without offenses, can dissipate all the reactions of all living beings' sinful life. All glories to that holy name of the Lord, which is auspicious for the entire world. And purport. This verse is found in the Padilla Valley. Eis lokera arta karo, panditera gana, sobe kohe, tumi kaha, arta vivarana. After reciting this verse, Haridāsa Ṭhākura said, "O learned scholars, please explain the meaning of this verse." But the audience requested Haridāsa Ṭhākura, it is better for you to explain the meaning of this important verse. Haridāsa Kohena, Jaiche Surjera Udaya, Udaya Nahaite Arambe, Tamera Haya Saya. Haridāsa Ṭhākura said, as the sun begins to rise, even before visible, it dissipates the darkness of night. Chora Preta Raksa Sadira Vaya Hoya Nasa, Udaya Hoile Dharma Karma Adi Parakasha. With the first glimpse of sunlight, fear of thieves, ghosts, and demons immediately disappears. And when the sun is actually visible, everything is manifest, and everyone begins performing his religious activities and regulative duties. Oiche namo dayarambe papa adirak saya udaya koile Krishna pode haya premo daya. Similarly, the first hint that offenseless chanting of the Lord's holy name has awakened dissipates the reaction of sinful life immediately. And when one chants the holy name offenselessly, one awakens to service in ecstatic love at the lotus feet of Krishna. Mukti tucha pala haya nama vasa haite. Liberation is the insignificant result derived from a glimpse of awakening, of offenseless chanting of the holy name. Mrija mano harer nama grinam putro pacharitam ajamilo pi agad dama kim uta sradaja grinam. While dying, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord, intending to call his son Narayana. Nevertheless, he attained the spiritual world. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with faith and reverence? This verse is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Je mukti bhakta na laya se Krishna chahe dite. Liberation, which is unacceptable for a pure devotee, is always offered by Krishna without difficulty. Salokya sarsti sarupya samipyai katvam apid uta dijamanam na grinanti vinamat sevanam jana. My devotees do not accept salokya, sarsti, sarupya, samipya, or oneness with me, even if I offer these liberations, in preference to serving me. Those are the types of 4 liberations. This verse is spoken by Lord Kapila, an avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Srimad Bhagavatam. Gopala Chakravarti Nama Eka Jana Majumadera Gore Sei Arinda Pradana. At the house of Hiranya and Govardhan Majumadara, a person named Gopala Chakravarti was officially the chief tax collector. Gaude Nahi Pratsaha Age Arinda Giri Kore Barak Laksha Mudra Sei Pratsara Tanyi Bore. This Gopala Chakravarti lived in Bengal. His duty as chief tax collector was to collect 1,200,000 coins to deposit in the treasury of the emperor. Parama Sundara Pandita Nutana Jauvana Namabase Mukti Suni Na Haila Sahana. He had handsome bodily features, and he was learned and youthful, but he could not tolerate the statement that simply by glimpsing the awakening of the Lord's holy name one can attain liberation. Krudhan Hanya Bole Sei Sarosha Vachana Babu Kera Siddhanta Suna Panditera Gana. This young man, Gopala Chakravarti, became very angry upon hearing the statements of Haridāsa Ṭhākura. He immediately criticized him. O assembly of learned scholars, he said, just hearing the conclusion of the emotional devotee. Koti janme Brahma Gyane Jai Muktinaya Ei Kohe Namavase Sei Mukti Haya. After many millions upon millions of births, when one is complete in absolute knowledge, one still may not attain liberation. Yet, this man says that one may attain it simply by the awakening of a glimpse of the holy name. Haridāsa Kohena Kene Karaha Samsaya Shastre Kohe Namavase Matre Mukti Haya. Haridāsa Ṭhākura said, "What are you doubtful? The revealed scriptures say that one can attain liberation simply by a glimpse of offenseless chanting of the holy name." A devotee who enjoys the transcendental bliss of devotional service. For a devotee who enjoys the transcendental bliss of devotional service, liberation is most insignificant. Therefore, pure devotees never desire to achieve liberation. Tvat saksat karana lada visudabhi stitasya me sukani gospadayante brahmani api jagat guru. My dear Lord, O Master of the universe, since I have directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness, including even Brahmananda, to be like the water contained in the hoof print of a calf. This verse is quoted from the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. Vipra kohe nama base jodi mukti naya, tabe tomara nakat koti karaha nishchoya. Gopal Chakravarti said, if one is not liberated by namabas, then you may be certain that I shall cut off your nose. This is Gopal Chakravarti. Haridāsa kohena, jadi namabase mukti naya, tobe amara naka katimu ei sunishchaya. Then Haridāsa Thakur accepted the challenge offered by Gopal Chakravarti. If by Namabasa liberation is not available, he said, certainly I shall cut off my nose. Suni sabha sad ute kori ha kara. Majumadara sei vipre karila dikara. All the members of the assembly who had heard the challenge were greatly agitated, and they got up, making a tumultuous sound. Hiranya and Govardhan Majumadara both immediately chastised the Brahmana, tax collector. Balai Purohita Tare Karila Bhartsana Gata Patiya Murka Tuni Bhakti Kanha Jana. The priest named Balaram Acharya chastised Gopal Chakravarti. You are a foolish logician, he said. What do you know about the devotional service of the Lord? Haridāsa Thakur Tuni Kaila Apamana Sarva Nasa Hove Tora Na Hove Kaljana. You have insulted Haridāsa Thakur. Thus there will be a dangerous position for you. You should not expect anything auspicious. Suni Haridāsa Tobe Utiya Śrīla Majumadara Sei Vipre Tyaga Karila. Then Haridāsa Thakur got up to leave, and the Majumadaras, the masters of Gopal Chakravarti, immediately dismissed Gopal Chakravarti from their service. Sabha Sahite Haridasera Padile Charane Haridāsa Hasi Kohe Madura Bachane. With all the members of the assembly, the two Majumadaras fell at the lotus feet of Haridāsa Thakur. Haridāsa Thakur was smiling. However, he spoke in a sweet voice. So Haridāsa Thakur did not get upset about the words of this Gopal Chakravarti, who was, going against what Śrīla Haridāsa Thakur was talking about, the benefits of chanting the holy name. He didn't accept it. Toma sabara dosha nahi ei anya brahmana. Tara dosha nahi tara tarka nista mana. None of you are at fault, he said. Indeed, even this ignorant so-called brahmana is not at fault, for he is accustomed to dry speculation and logic. Tarkera gochara nahe namera nahatba. Kota haite janive sei ei sava tatua. One cannot understand the glories of the holy name simply by logic and argument. Therefore, this man cannot possibly understand the glories of the holy name. Jaha Gara Krishna Karuna Kushala Savara Amara Sambande Dukha Nahauka Kahara. All of you may now go to your homes. May Lord Krishna bestow his blessings upon you all. Do not be sorry because of my being insulted. Purport. From this statement by Haridāsa Ṭhākura, it is understood that a pure Vaishnava never takes anyone's insult seriously. This is the teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Trinada Pisunichana, Taroravi Sahisnana, Nena Manadena, Ja Sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree devoid of all sense of false prestige and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. A Vaishnava is always tolerant, and submissive like trees and grass. He tolerates insults offered by others, for he is simply interested in chanting the holy name of the Lord without being disturbed. Tobe se Hiranja Dasa Nija Gore Aila, se Brahmane Nija Dwara Mana Kaila. Then Hiranja Das Majumadara returned to his home and ordered the Gopal Chakravarti not to be admitted therein. Dina Dina Vitore Sei Viprera Kusta Haila Ati Ucha Nasa Tara Galija Padila. Within 3 days, that Brahmana was attacked by leprosy, and as a result, his highly raised nose melted away and fell off. You remember what that happened? Why his nose fell off? You remember what happened? Why the nose of this offender fell off? Yeah, and he, let me just, because Gopal Chakravarti kind of challenged Haridāsa Ṭhākura, saying, if one is not liberated by namavas, by chanting the holy name, then you may be certain that I shall cut off your nose, he said that. And then Haridāsa Ṭhākura accepted the challenge offered by Gopal Chakravarti, saying, if by namavas liberation is not available, he said, certainly I shall cut off my nose. But it actually happened to him. It happened to Gopal Chakravarti that with his offense, he was attacked by leprosy, and as a result, his nose melted away. The Brahmana's toes and fingers were beautiful, like golden-colored champaka buds, but because of leprosy, they all withered and gradually melted away. But of course, Haridāsa Ṭhākura did not take his insult, but simply this offense caused to a Vaishnava, the Lord cannot forgive that. Dekhiya sakala loka haila chamatkara Haridāse prasamsi tanre kore namaskara. Seeing the condition of Gopal Chakravarti, everyone was astonished. Everyone praised the influence of Haridāsa Ṭhākura and offered him obeisances. Jadyapi Haridāsa viprera dosa na hai laila, tatapi Ishvara tare phala bunjaila. Although Haridāsa Ṭhākura, as a Vaishnava, did not take seriously the Brahmana's offense, the Supreme Personality of Godhead could not tolerate it, and thus he made the Brahmana suffer the consequences. Bhakta Swabhava Anya Dosha Ksama Kore Krishna Swabhava Bhakta Ninda Sahite Na Pare. A characteristic of a pure devotee is that he excuses any offense by an ignorant rascal. The characteristic of Krishna, however, is that he cannot tolerate blasphemy of his devotees. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Trinada pi sunishana, tarora pi sahisnana, amanina manadena kirtanija sada hari. A Vaishnava strictly follows this principle of being humbler than a grass and more tolerant than a tree, expecting no honor from others but offering honor to everyone. In this way, a Vaishnava is simply interested in chanting about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and glorifying Him. Haridāsa Ṭhākura epitomized this foremost order of Vaishnavism. Krishna cannot tolerate any insults or blasphemy against a Vaishnava. For example, Prahlāda Maharaj was chastised by his father, Hiranyakasipu, in so many ways, but although Prahlāda tolerated this, Krishna did not. The Lord therefore came in the form of Nrsimhadev to kill Hiranyakasipu. Similarly, although Srila Haridāsa Ṭhākura tolerated the insult by Gopala Chakravarti, Krishna could not. The Lord immediately punished Gopal Chakravarti by making him suffer from leprosy. While instructing Srila Rupa Goswami about the many restrictive rules and regulations for Vaishnavas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very vividly described the effects of offenses at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Yadi Vaishnava aparadha utte hati mata. This is from Antya-līlā, 19:156. Offending or blaspheming a Vaishnava has been described as the greatest offense, and it has been compared to a mad elephant. When a mad elephant enters a garden, it ruins all the creepers, flowers, and trees. Similarly, if a devotee properly executing his devotional service becomes an offender at the lotus feet of his spiritual master or a Vaishnava, his devotional service. Viprera kusta suni Haridāsa mone duki haila. Balai purohite kohi santipura aila. Haridāsa Ṭhākura was unhappy when he heard that the Brahmana Gopal Chakravarti had been attacked by leprosy. Thus, after informing Balaram Acharya, the priest of Hiranya Majumadhara, he went to Shantipur, the home of Advaita Acharya. So maybe we can stop here as it begins another pastime of Srila Haridāsa Ṭhākura. We stop in text 215. Jai Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. So we have to be very careful of making any offense to any Vaishnava. We have to be respectful to all because we don't know who is a Vaishnava. Srila Gurudev is always emphasizing that. We should never criticize or offend anyone. Give honor to everyone without expecting any other for ourselves. And that verse keeps repeating again. Gurudev emphasizes Trinada Pisunechina all the time. So we have to try to apply that in our life, in our practicing life. It is not simply learning it, but really applying it into our life, into our practicing life. We should try to do that. So, Prabhu, you want to sing Hari Haraya Nama Krishna? You can change the camera, please. Jai Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai, Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
You can read a little bit of Guru
Tomorrow.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya
Yadavaya
Namaha.
Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri
some show who is in the room. We are here with Devi from Latvia, Devananda Prabhu, and Shreyash, and also Gopal was here, and many others who are not present. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Raka Kshya Deva Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Unjupa Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura ki Jai, Śrī Rupananda Guru Varga ki Jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridāsa Ṭhākura ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya SCSMath ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai, Jai Śrī Tulasi Devi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai, Śrīla Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Anati Koti Vaisnavinda ki Jai, Dandava Pranam to all the devotees worldwide ki Jai, and please forgive my offenses and any bad pronunciation. Jai Śrīla Guru Dev.